Thank you for joining us for the Order 66 Sons of the Order podcast. We are the Sons of the Order. I am Lainey.
I'm Chuck.
I'm Joey.
I'm Liam.
Jeff.
And James.
Welcome. We are 10 days away from leaving to go to Anaheim. I'm so excited.
Gosh, that's a long drive.
It's the first
It
time
is a
anyone's
long
been
drive.
excited about Anaheim.
So excited.
It's not
Well, it's
Anaheim
home-
so
it's
much
home
as
of
it's L.A.,
Disneyland.
It's a
Liam.
celebration.
It's
Celebration
Disneyland.
7.
Yeah.
It's home of the Angels. You know, the baseball team.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this week we're going to be discussing our thoughts and what we expect out of our visit to Anaheim and taking the Order on the road and visiting Celebration 7.
It's time the world that the world knew about Order 66 toys, not just the select few around Texas and the people that see our ad, but everyone.
Not just the ones that can read.
Well, you know,
I can't read.
As Jeff said, it's a coronation. What I'm finding out, though, is the preparation. As we get closer to the date, the preparation and getting things together is starting to, as the word was said today, makes us a little nervy. And it's getting to that point now that I feel like I'm in a race. When I used to run track and I've got all these bugs in my stomach, you know, and I'm ready to shoot the gun.
They have pills for that.
And other things too.
All right, so here's a question I got for you. I mean,
You just stopped my analogy, but that's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, didn't you say the Dallas Comic Con was a few weeks ago? Didn't you say that was like the first time you'd been to something like that? So what are your thoughts
That is an excellent question, and I was going to delve into that. Thank you for
There you
asking that. What Josh said to me today, and Jeff, and my expectations. I don't know what I'm. Liam could tell us everything about his experiences at Celebration, and that's fine. But it's like, right before I had my first kid, people were telling me what to expect, but when that kid came, it didn't matter what people told me. It's the same thing about Celebration. You can tell me everything about it, but once I get there, it's going to be, I'm sure, mind-blowing. But I just have no idea about what's going to happen.
Who of us hasn't already been on the internet and looking at all the videos that they've posted? And I mean, it's Celebration 7. So
there's been 6 before this.
there's been 6 before this. Episode 7 is coming out
McKinney
in
ISD
December.
education.
And we are looking at
Dogs.
what is supposed to be the biggest celebration event of all time.
I mean, you said there has been some other celebrations, and they have like Celebration Europe 2. They've had a few other ones, but traditionally the ones in America have been the largest ones. And I believe Celebration 4 was the largest because that was the 30th anniversary of the original movie, and they had a lot of the original cast. But I think this is going to just be even more because it's not only are you celebrating the release of a new movie, but it's also you're going to get all the original cast back. And I mean, there's rumors now that Harrison Ford might show up.
Well, I was real happy to see that Billy D. Williams was added to the list.
Oh yeah, because I mean he's
strangely
doing
enough-
so much.
I could always use
he had to
some
check
malt
his
liquor.
schedule.
Colt 45
I could always use some malt liquor, yeah.
Why is every time Billy D. Williams' name's mentioned, some joker, and this time it happens to be Liam, has to bring up Colt 45?
He was in Batman.
Son, you didn't even had Colt 45. You don't even know what it's like.
It's nasty.
I mean,
it's
I always
horrible.
felt bad for the people. Like, I've seen him several times, like when he's done shows and doing autograph signings. And I swear, there is always some joker that has Colt 45, usually a 40-ounce bottle, for him to autograph. And he does it. He is such a good guy, such a good nature, and he's he owns that. He can poke fun at himself, but there's always somebody that has to press the issue and bring Colt 45.
You know what? You know
He
what
was
I
in
think.
Batman.
You know what I think about. I think I told you this, Chuck. When I see Billy D. Williams, or I don't even think about Star Wars per se. I remember the episode of the Jeffersons he was in, and
Florence Henderson.
not
Florence.
but the maid
Florence. Her name was Florence.
Yeah, and she was just going crazy about him coming and visiting. That's the thing I remember is that episode. So yeah,
He has a varied career. He was in Batman and done some different sort of side work.
I just
but-
can't believe he's 77 years old. That's mind blowing, man.
What about the whole thing about Dave Prowse not attending Celebration 7?
I don't think it's a surprise because he's just had so many issues and
That would just that's not surprising for me. Just health reasons. I know
But
he's
It's not his health.
really.
Is it health
He actually-
reasons, or is
no.
there other?
well,
It's
he's
not his
always.
health. I mean,
under-
we're not here on the podcast to really like dig up a whole bunch of dirt. I don't think, but it's not his health. He was not invited to Celebration, and it's widely known on Facebook as to why he was not invited. So
Well, he's
this is the
always-
second time he wasn't invited, and it's.
I mean, I think even outside of that, it's not a huge surprise because he's not going to be in the movie. Because I mean, like Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill, Peter Mayhew, they're all going to be in the movie.
Is Ray Park in the movie?
No, but Ray Park's in everything. Ray Park, if you guys are going to Celebration, make sure to stop. Ray Park is one of the coolest people.
He is.
He is
He
so
really is.
awesome.
My point is that Dave Prowse is Darth Vader. He is Darth Vader, and as a Celebration reunion, which it is for the original cast, he should be there. He should be there because he is one of the people that made Star Wars what it is.
Well, I know we're not supposed to speculate, but now my interest is piqued about why he hasn't been invited. But I guess you don't want to delve into that, correct?
Well, the thing is like when there is a whole political part of the business, and if you go against the grain on certain things or have an altercation with the wrong people, you start finding yourself not being invited to things, or that's just what it is.
Can't we all just get along?
But I mean, it's the same thing where people just need to put that aside and do it for the greater good because it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
He is part of what built Star Wars. I mean, a huge part at that. So I give him so much respect because he's such a nice man. He is such a genuine, kind-hearted man. He really
I'm
is.
just wondering who he pissed off or who he upset.
There's really a couple people that if you did, it would pretty much seal the deal for you.
Interesting. This could be TMZ
That
today.
you ask J.J. Abrams about that too.
Well,
'Cause
on a lighter note, myself and James just got back from Kansas City Comic Con. So Planet Comic Con, and it was killer to see all of the Star Wars related items that were there.
We purchased a few things.
Purchased a few
And,
things. Came back with a life-size Vader,
Yeah.
and you got to see the Raptor.
Yes.
Oh, and they came back with a C-3PO necklace for Lainey. That is, I'm wearing it right now. It's so cute.
And we got just an incredible collection that I almost talked Jeff out of, but I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah,
'Cause it's a pretty good, incredible collection.
one of our longtime friends, been in the store several times. His parents live in McKinney. Finally talked myself and James into going and seeing his actual collection. Fantastic collection, probably 700 plus vintage loose
Yep.
figures,
Really
almost
cool.
100 carded figures. And it was kind of strange. In going through the boxes, we found something that was really unusual. And we've been bringing it up here a little bit in kind of our conversation pre-game warm-up, and that was the rocket-firing Boba Fett. It was actually found in this collection out of Kansas City.
And it's actually one of the prototypes that's closest to being actually finished. The J version spring on the back. And
This one's the L
oh
slot.
no, it's the L.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's the
that's
L
right.
slot.
We were looking at the J's.
Yeah.
But it's the L slot, and it's the one that's closest to being finished.
So what did this guy say as for what was his story and how he acquired such a thing?
It was interesting. He couldn't say whether it was real or not. It was something that he picked up in a collection. He basically put no credence into it or no value. and we didn't either. We picked the collection up.
Yeah.
We looked at it. I held it in my hand. I said, "Wow, it looks really interesting," and threw it in a box.
Yeah, we threw in boxes.
I have seen a lot of fakes for the rocket firing Boba Fett, like people that have faked them, cast them. There are some that are available out through the internet and such.
Yeah, you can go onto eBay right now and get a repro for like $25.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of those, and this one is not like any of those that I've seen. It is probably the only example that I've seen with my own eyes that could be authentic.
Well, I think something that I think actually Josh brought this up is if you look at the items in the collection, they were all the original line, and then like the initial Power of the Force. Mm-hmm. So he wouldn't have been collecting at the time that there would have been a reproduction. And
Well, we've talked about this in the past, myself and Chuck, about the days when we would buy a comic book collection, and you would look in a box of comics, and there would be, Hulk 179, Hulk 180, and then you just naturally expected to see a Hulk 181 in that box because that was the time period that these came from. And they weren't, for say, preserved in any special manner. They were just a guy's collection from the early, mid-1970s to early 1980s.
What's different about this particular collection, though, and I think it's kind of hard to describe to get the full value without really seeing it, but what's different about this collection, it was so much repetition. I mean, you're talking about a case that literally had 6 brown snake Yodas in it. There was 6 blue Snaggletooths. There
We're complaining?
No. What I'm saying is,
We
is that
love it. That's
what's
awesome.
the difference with this collection versus other ones? Usually when somebody brings in their collection, they have, like if they have vintage collection, they have like one of each figure that they've collected, or maybe a couple because they've upgraded. This was literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of the same figures over and over and over again in high grade with their weapons. So this person that was collecting these and acquiring them was acquiring them in such a rate that it is quite possible that, when you get down to the one piece that he has, out of all that, the law of averages says it could be authentic because of when you look at the whole collection together as one, it is so complete and it is so like multiples of everything that's rare. He's like, well, if you could have one rocket firing Boba Fett, this is the collection that you'd see it in.
Well, there was actually 2 12-inch IG-88s.
Right, and that's,
There was
you can search and you just don't find those.
There was a Takara missile-firing R2-D2.
Right.
There was the C-3PO and the droid, rocket-firing droid, or lightsaber droid.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of the droids figures, the animated droids ones.
Yeah, some of the
From
really
which you don't
tough
see.
ones.
That's
Yeah.
the hardest, rarest regular Series 1 droids figure. Of course, the Vlix is, the Brazilian one, which is the rarest, but the CC From is,
Yeah.
is
and
the hardest
it's
regular
just hard
one that
to
was
find
released.
the droids
Well, for-
figures in general.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
are.
it was such a short run. It was 13 episodes, and it's just a lot of people have forgotten about them.
He had everything displayed so nicely when we went down into the basement. They're working on the basement. It was a work in progress.
Well, his wife is pregnant.
His wife is about to have another. They probably have already had the baby by now.
Sure.
And we walked down there, and he had it all laid out beautifully. I mean, he had all the. I mean, when you talk about a ton of loose figures, I mean, they're all just standing up, just everywhere, and it was really, really beautiful how he had it all set up. And he gave us an original price, and and I'm shaking my head, and we worked things out, and finally Jeff and I went outside and talked, and we came down to a final figure. But initially I was not too pleased, but right now I'm very pleased. I mean, from everything that I've been hearing.
It takes it's really difficult to appraise a collection of a lot of loose figures.
I mean, a
And
ton of them.
not only there were loose figures, there were carded figures. There was so much in
Yeah,
there.
that's a lot of stuff.
But to get back to the original question, what am I looking forward to at Celebration 7? I'm looking forward to seeing AFA, the Action Figure Authority there. They're going to be set up in one of the booths, and it'll give us an actual opportunity to meet with some of the people from AFA, some of their graders, some of their authenticators. And CIB, which is Tom Derby. I'm hoping Tom's going to be there. Sansweet's going to be there. So,
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Steven Sansweet runs Rancho Obi-Wan,
And
which is the Star Wars.
Is
Is
it
he
the
still-
single largest
is he still
collection?
running? Is he still running it?
That is
Well, he
gonna-
did run it. I don't know if he's still.
I don't
running
think
it,
he's running it anymore, but I
Here,
mean,
I can tell
probably
you when
like,
it's at. Here we go.
but he's an
There
expert.
we go.
yeah, he is the
Steve
expert.
Sansweet, Rancho Obi-Wan, Thursday, April 16th, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you better.
Yeah, I was
Hit it
looking.
up.
Laney's looking at the. We found the list online of everything that is going on at Celebration. It looks like they're bringing
There's-
out pieces of the Rancho Obi-Wan collection.
There's 260 sessions in total. And then you've got everything from like podcasts to actual,
The big panels.
big
and-
panels with,
Yeah.
the
Usually,
directors, producers,
in the
talent,
What time's our panel?
the fact
all day long.
It's in the parking lot out back.
the fact that we'll,
Behind the
The
dumpster.
Long John Silver's parking lot.
the fact that we'll actually get to meet with the people from AFA and Rancho Obi-Wan and have a chance to show them some of these great items we've been able to pick up for the store and specifically for Celebration 7 is going to be a
I
lot
mean,
of fun.
I'm going to ask a very, please don't laugh at my question.
it's a Star Wars
It's a Star-
movie.
it's
In Texas,
Spock is not
where
in
all
this
our
one.
Blixes live.
What now with AFA? I mean, we've got this possible rocket firing Boba Fett. Can they just take a look at it real quick and tell us if it's perhaps
It'll pique their
authentic?
interest, of course.
It'll pique their interest, but I'm sure they'll be like, oh well, you're gonna have to.
Well, yeah,
gonna-
that's
we're
fine.
gonna send it in, and it's
We
gonna be
can do that,
analyzed.
but if they if they give us an idea that it's possibly authentic, then of course.
Stephen or Tom Derby would be the best people to authenticate it because AFA does a different process behind there.
But isn't it going to be fun one way or another?
Absolutely.
What's great is we have basically nothing invested in this item. We don't have any great expectations.
No.
It's just something fun that we can do while we're there.
I would imagine they could pretty easily tell you if it was a definite fake. Maybe confirming it to be actually authentic might take a little bit more doing, but hopefully they could at least tell us whether or not it's
Yeah, I mean,
it's fake or not.
What would be pretty exciting if they would say,
maybe
let's take a look.
Well,
yeah.
I think that's something like when we were all looking at the figure. I mean, obviously we've had experience dealing with a lot of these fakes, and I mean, it didn't really have any of the telltale signs of like the standard fake items that you'd see.
Okay, here's the deal. We go to Celebration, show them the rocket firing Boba Fett. If it's for real, we'll announce it on the podcast. If it's not real, we never talk about it again.
Which
we'll
you
talk
can tune
about it
in
again.
to our on our website.
Laney's got the rocket firing Boba Fett. Stop her. She's heading for the door. Seal the exits.
Yeah, then it's gonna
I
turn
think
into a
it'll-
chase scene from a movie.
I mean, even if it turns out to be
Personal
like
ones.
a fake, it'll be really cool to hear like why it's not real.
Well, first of all, for it to be a fake, there's got to be some level of dishonesty involved with it. I never liked the word fake.
Oh, okay. For it to be
I
a
like
reproduction.
the word
Replica.
reproduction. I like the words non-authentic. I like
Okay.
the words
Custom.
2.0.
my fugazi.
But you know what? But even Chuck, you would probably say, Liam, that even things that have been non-authenticated can be worth something.
Absolutely.
Well, there are people who are just interested in buying the figure, and they're just interested
Right.
not in, they just want a version of it one way or another.
We don't call them figs, but and we don't carry a lot of it. But every time we get like custom figures in the shop, figures that have never been done, or takes on figures that have been carded in custom cards, custom figures. We don't have any right now. They always sell. Mm-hmm. I mean, like the girl or the guy that did the Boba Fett's daughter, Ayla, what's her name?
Elenville.
That sold in like 10 minutes. I mean, it was a beautiful figure. It was totally custom. But they don't hang around.
Yeah,
so, I mean, like when they do things like this, they're always good pieces.
There was a Jason Solo one, too, that sold like...
Jane and Jason, with custom cards that look like the vintage collection. And those actually sold for quite a bit of money.
Yeah, and it's just, like people are fans of those characters and they're interested in them.
And they were beautiful.
Yeah, they were
beautiful pieces.
brilliant. They were... they were cool.
Oh, and my favorite, the Star Wario figures. Those are awesome.
The super boots.
From the Barrio, the Star Wario.
Star Wario from the
Galaxy
Barrio.
Cop. Like to put the top on it. It's Darth Vader.
That's a whole other podcast. Those things.
That is.
Yeah, going back to your original question, no, I still have no idea. I can't even fathom what I'm about to experience. I'm going to have to be there to actually understand.
We're gonna have
it.
to figure out how
excitement
to
will be
like
legendary.
hit up as much of these as we can.
You're
gonna
there
have
to work,
like,
Lainey.
wait a minute.
Yeah, we have a booth to run.
Yeah, Laney's got the list. What pops out at you from the list that you think would be cool?
From what I have seen, they have
tattoos.
they have a tattoo pavilion that I'm going to be hitting up. No, but they have like the Bespin diorama builders.
Oh yeah. When I went to Celebration, there was a room.
Room.
Yeah, they might have had 200 different R2s, and they were all working. There were just all these.
The
different,
R2 builders.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
is
like there was a
awesome.
life-size Lego one. There was all these different colors and version. They had the R2 KT. I mean, it was pretty incredible.
I mean,
My-
you've got Jedi training. You get to meet the legions. You know, the 501st and the Rebel Legion,
And the Sons of the Order.
and the Sons of the Order at booth 1049.
If you guys want to meet Lainey, just come to booth 1049. That's where she'll be spending most of her time.
Yes.
Maybe Harrison Ford will show up.
Y'all gotta let me sneak away, for like a little bit. I mean, after 21 hours of us being crammed in a car, you guys get to just walk off the plane, show up, be like, yay, we're all here, refreshed. We were only on a plane for an hour and a half.
They're on a plane an hour and
Don't
a
be a
half to
hater.
Anaheim.
Don't
I'm
be a
not,
hater to
I'm
Team
not
2.
hating. I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
You're the Rolling
You know.
Stones.
Laney can
They're
be the
the Beatles,
designated
you're the
placeholder in the
Stones.
line.
That is a great
Man, you guys suck.
Wow, that is a very for such a young man. That is an incredibly informed statement you just made.
Yes.
Thank you for that.
That reference has no bearing on McKinney ISD.
No, it certainly doesn't. Can I tell an interesting story about Anaheim? Because Anaheim is not.
All
interesting.
5 of them.
Because Anaheim's not interesting.
Are we gonna have to edit any of this?
No.
Joey's already like
You just
cut.
never know.
Finger on the button.
No.
Stay on
I don't know
target.
why they did
Prepare
that.
for
I'm
5
the
seconds to
nicest-
left.
I am the nicest guy here. No, in 1965, I was 4 years old, and we drove all the way out to California, and I went to Disneyland. And it was the 10th anniversary of Disneyland, and I still have the hat in the attic, this little hat that they bought for me. It says Disneyland 10th year anniversary, and it had my name on the brim. It says James. That was in 1965. I have not been to California since 1965. So 50
Well, that you
years
remember.
later. Yeah, well, I remember.
You're gonna see your
So at 50 years later, I am going back to Anaheim.
you're gonna
gotta get
see
him a
your
hat.
picture hanging up in the post office.
Yeah, we have to get him a little
Give me
button,
another hat. Another hat.
a little hat that says James on it, And then
Because obviously, what this is the 60th anniversary of Disneyland, so maybe they do have a hat.
Jeff,
sure
they do.
Chuck, I just found the most awesome thing for you guys. They
Sci-fi
have a
speed dating?
Star Wars speed dating.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is so cool that it's awesome. It's like 23-minute dates. So you won't have
sounds
to.
like most of my dates. Well, 23 minutes including dinner.
I could say something, but you would have to edit it out.
For those of you attending Celebration, Chuck is open. He's ready. He's preparing.
Booth 1049, folks.
Oh, yes, we are in booth 1049, folks.
What booth are we in?
1049. 1049. 1049.
Do we sell
10-4.
toys or something?
There
What
will
are
be
we? Yeah,
plenty-
what are we planning on having there?
Me. Oh,
Laney.
what are we? We're going to have some vintage stuff.
We're going to have some Star Wars stuff there.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mostly
We're-
Star Wars.
We're auctioning Laney.
It's a
No, but
limited time offer.
But seriously, folks.
It's a silent
There's
auction,
only
though.
one.
It's a silent auction, meaning she will keep silent.
We're
charity.
taking Vlix with us.
Are we taking both flicks?
Both Vlix.
I don't know. I think I got the first one sold before we leave. I think so. We might sell it. Who knows?
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, I'm buying it because
I
I'm
want
from
to play
Brazil.
with it.
Oh my gosh! And booth 124, there's going to be a 501st Legion Troop Athlon. There's going to be extreme stormtrooper challenges. I have to know what that is. Like, what does that even mean? Liam,
Extreme.
you,
Giving the Heimlich maneuver to another
Do you think-
stormtrooper?
Is that
Do
501
you think they'll be doing it
porn?
in front of booth 1049?
What's in booth 1049?
Us.
I'll have to look at a map to see like how it's all located and mapped out. Because you never know. I mean, we might be like right across the hall from like
Harrison
Binders.
Ford.
124. You never know how they
Either that or we
number
could be
those.
facing the restrooms or the concession area. Who knows?
Harrison Ford could be there.
I know that they're gonna have a bunch of just like life-size props and stuff that I've seen that you can get your picture taken
Roxy.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, the giant Roxy the Rancor.
Roxy will be there.
I'm gonna
in
have to
person.
do that. My 4-year-old, he loves the Rancor, so I'm gonna have to take a picture with
I
him.
love Rancors
I've-
too. So
I've
So
please
you
take a
actually
picture for me.
attending?
No, wait, huh?
Yes, he's attending.
That's what I hear.
We bet.
That's what
Can
I
I
hear.
can I ask this question? Is there a possibility that the man,
Mr.
George
Lucas,
Lucas.
George
Mr.
Lucas.
I will.
It wouldn't
be there.
surprise.
Well, I thought he was talking about me for a second.
It could go. I see it as 50-50. It wouldn't surprise me either way.
And when he goes to these shows, what does he do?
Well, from what we've heard, he does. First thing, he'll walk through the dealer room, and he looks and just kind of.
Dave's not here, man. Okay.
But he will walk through the dealer room, so we will be prepared with our gold and silver Sharpie, and that one special item.
We have to add that to the list. of
Does he
things to
actually
take.
does he actually go in and talk to some of the dealers, or what does he do?
When I was there last time, I knew somebody who was a dealer, and he said, a few hours before the show started, he was just walking around. He was chatting with the different dealers there. He was talking to the 501st. I mean, I know there's sort of this conception that he's very grumpy and stuff, but he loves interacting with a lot of the fans there. And
Because we made him.
yeah, they built his empire.
Deservedly
right.
so.
Oh
Very
my gosh,
talented.
did you know that Star Wars A New Hope was the first mainstream movie to be dubbed in Navajo?
That's awesome.
They're actually playing that there.
Yeah, I know. That's why I noticed that. It's going to be going on Friday, April 17th from 2:30 to 5:30.
I heard Donald's going to be doing the Navajo translation.
He is from Oklahoma.
Well, they call him Big Chief Whipweasel.
Me, Whip Weasel.
I know they're gonna have screenings of the episodes 2 and 3 in 3D, which
Oh.
those were never released in the theaters. That was the plan to release them, but they never got released.
Yeah, they ended up Celebration 6. They screened episode 2 in
Oh,
3D.
they did? Okay.
And so, but this will be the premiere of the first time episode 3 will ever be in 3D.
The only one I just care about seeing the original trilogy in 3D.
I
That's the only
thought
ones
that
care.
was quite interesting too, because they were building toward that, because
Yeah.
it was called what Josh calls Discover the Force, and they released like Phantom Menace in 3D, and they changed all the packaging on on the merchandise, all the figures and all the
Could be
release at the
like
time.
that Darth Maul theme.
Yeah,
It was Darth Maul, and then the next year they changed the packaging to Yoda for Episode 2, and then it stalled.
Well, wasn't the whole thing, the whole Disney buyout kind of put that on the skids, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what they were building to, because they were going to release those all in 3D, and then do a figure line, a new merchandise line for each one of them.
And like I said, if they were going to, my thoughts on that on the 3D re-release, why start on, okay, maybe you just want to put them out in chronological order, but if you want to get money, do the original trilogy first, and then that would make more money. I would imagine, instead of let's start off with the one that people like the least, and we'll put that one out first, and then ticket sales aren't that great.
I
Surprise,
think Lucas
surprise.
was making a creative decision rather than a business decision.
Well, I think it was really just a format for people who had never gotten to see
Yeah.
Star Wars on the big screen.
Yeah.
I mean, because like I guess I'm sort of that generation that I didn't get to see Episode 3 on the big screen, and so like I saw the Clone Wars movie in theaters, but then when Phantom Menace came out in 3D, that was that was the first time I'd ever gotten to see one of the live action Star Wars movies in theaters. So I mean, regardless, I think it was an interesting experience.
Not that I'm a huge fan of 3D. I just think it would be just interesting more than anything else to see the
Yeah.
original trilogy.
Just to see it on the big screen again.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be going on Friday at 6:30. Just so you know.
Yay.
You can go see it in Navajo.
And so what I think the plan right now is to try and do some daily podcast wrap-ups from Anaheim, if I can get the equipment put together. So that could be kind of cool if we can get that pulled
Do a
off.
live stream.
No live. Can't do live. No. Maybe someday.
A live stream.
No.
This group.
Yeah, certainly not with this group.
Live stream. Lainey gets her
Hi,
tattoo.
this is Lainey at the
Ow.
tattoo booth.
Ow! No, just kidding.
This is Chuck here with speed dating.
Funny enough, I just got this tattoo like right on my collarbone, and it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it was going to. So
How many tattoos do you have, Jeff?
Many, actually.
Do you? Okay.
I have 5 that I know
I've
of.
never
Fun.
seen them. So this wraps up our 13th episode, guys.
Come back and see us for episode 38 when Jeff discusses his tattoos again.
Episode 38. Wake up, Jeff. The Road to Anaheim, Part 8.
I'm James.
Blaney,
Chuck.
Joey.
Liam.
And Jeff.
may the force be with you.
And also with you.